Redskins made some moves yesterday. First, you hear about Kyle Allen, who was the backup quarterback in Carolina, had 17 touchdowns, 16 picks last year. Started off the season red hot. People were saying he was going to be the heir apparent to Cam Newton. And then he cooled off and started throwing a bunch of picks and having a bunch of turnovers. But he did play under Scott Turner, who is the new Redskins offensive coordinator. So the day started with that, and then it ended with Quentin Dunbar being traded to Seattle for a fifth-round pick.
Yeah, couple things. So the Kyle Allen move, if I'm Haskins, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Because they didn't bring in a Cam Newton. They didn't bring in a Jameis Winston. They brought in a guy who most regard as a backup in this league.
That shuts all that down.
That should settle that down. Now, I suppose in theory they could still maybe make a move for Tua and then trade Haskins, but I just think that is a lot more unlikely at this point. I just don't understand what the rush was to get Allen, because if you wanted to still have that threat of potentially drafting Tua and maybe getting some more, draft picks to maybe move down, I think that it's less of a threat now. So I kind of don't like it. But if I'm Haskins, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. Backup quarterback was certainly something they needed, but I don't know that you need to trade a fifth-round pick for a backup quarterback.
I agree with that.
Now, they get the fifth-rounder back in the Dunbar deal, but you're giving up a higher fifth-round pick because it would have been the second pick in the round to get the Seattle's fifth-round pick. I don't get why you need to trade a fifth-rounder. I get it. It's someone you're familiar with because he played in the offense last year, but he turned the ball over 1 million times in 9 games.
I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but I think there are hundreds, if not thousands, of Kyle Allens just walking around. You don't have to part with draft capital, especially a fifth-round pick, to bring that guy into your building. Are you familiar with him? Yes. You've worked with him before? Yes. But does that warrant giving away something that's pretty valuable, I would think, in a fifth-round pick? I don't think so.
And by the way, they could have probably gotten Kyle Allen on the free agent market because Carolina brought in P.J. Walker.
They had 5 quarterbacks on the roster.
Yeah. And they obviously are comfortable with P.J. Walker in a backup role because Allen's gone. So I don't know. I think they were too hasty.
Yeah, and I don't like only getting a fifth for Dunbar. So
that seemed light.
Essentially, it's a wash. So they basically gave away Dunbar for nothing. I mean,
it's not even it's a 15 spot loss.
It's
definitely in the round. So
definitely.
They come out a net loser.
They just wanted to dump him. I was listening to Chris Russell yesterday with Chad Dukes, and it was just his speculation. They were wondering, well, what is the value of Quentin Dunbar? And the speculation was late second, third rounder. They got a fifth rounder for him.
Fifth rounder, wow.
Well, I can't remember if it was John Kimes' report. It may have been. I guess they just decided that that they didn't like the way he handled it. They didn't like that he went public with all this stuff. And they just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, make no mistake of it. Ron Rivera is clearing house because we also didn't mention Monte Nicholson's out.
Yeah.
Well, so they got rid of Monte Nicholson. So the secondary is going to be a lot different. Yeah. Of course, they added the safety. It wasn't a big signing, I think, by the Redskins when they added that safety for $5 million. And, of course, they brought in Fuller from KC, the ex-Redskin. So the secondary is going to be a lot different.
No question about it.
I just don't understand what they're doing. They obviously have their reasons, but I just think
it's a reset.
It's a reset, and they're bringing in their guys.
I know, but you don't have to trade a fifth rounder for Kyle Allen. You just don't. He's not worth a fifth rounder.
I agree.
They must really love him.
Well, remember, the overall numbers are terrible, and he really fell off. But he did have a 4-game stretch, I believe it was, where he was pretty good. So he showed flashes of being able to do some things.
Yeah, I mean, 4 games until defenses finally realizes what his weaknesses were.
Yeah, it's fine. That's fair. But at least he showed, hey, you know what? He's capable of having a big game.
And then he turned the ball over 16 times in the final 9 games.
Yeah.
And
that's a lot of turnovers.
I really believe he took a league-high 18 sacks of 10 yards or more.
Right.
Right. Yeah, he was the league leader in that.
Yeah.
I saw that last night. I couldn't believe it.
Not a stat they want to lead.
They said he's the king of the big sack.
Yeah, the mega sack category.
Right. I didn't even know that was a category.
But like you said, Eric, I mean, if you're Dwayne Haskins, all right, the job's yours now.
I think so.
I don't think they're drafting Tua. I've said that from the start. And now you got your backup quarterback there in Kyle Allen. All right, now you move on. Haskins is your guy, and try and put some more pieces around him to make him better.
Yep, I agree. Well, they need a lot of pieces.
And you do have a guy, look, Kyle Allen can help Haskins because he knows the system.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's also what that is. That's a meeting room thing. That's a daily thing.
Everybody wants their guys.
Yeah, and, he can help Dwayne. Look, this is going to be a difficult transition for Dwayne. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, but this whole shutdown that we're all going through, one of sort of the trivial details to it is a young quarterback that's learning a new system is not getting his reps. He's not getting work in the film room with the guy. Now, maybe they're doing some Zoom meetings with Scott and Turner, and they're going over things. I wouldn't doubt it.
Right.
But he's not getting field reps. We know that. I mean, with the social distancing, frankly,
how are
you
they
can't
doing
even
that?
really go out there and throw to receivers because you're getting the germs all over the football. I mean, there's really no way you could do that.
No,
Maybe they have big battle wipes.
Well,
Yeah.
I know for a fact.
Down.
I know for a fact Haskins is throwing to receivers.
Yeah, I'm sure. But he's not throwing to I doubt he's throwing to Terry McLaurin.
Oh, he's throwing to
No.
some street free agent fodder. Probably his brother. It's like a younger brother.
He's thrown it to guys who he played high school with.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Tua, he released that quick video of him
I
throwing.
saw him look pretty good.
He looked good to me.
Looked pretty healthy.
Didn't look like he had a
Now-
hip problem.
Now let's see how he reacts when he gets hit. But sure, he looked like he's healthy. So
Yeah.
that was a really nice thing to see. Didn't look like Bo Jackson.
And he's going to release more and more and more of those, and teams are going to get butt-sized.
Yeah, but don't get suckered in by the slickly produced 8-second long video where nobody's pass rushing him. There's no pressure on him.
Yeah,
I
but the
know.
only issue, Quakes, is health.
you wanted
with
to
him
see
at this
you
point.
wanted to see mobility.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he had the mobility back.
That helps.
You want to see the feet, and the
Yeah.
feet look good. Now he looks small to me.
Right. It looks about
I don't
6
know.
feet tall.
I'm not sure he's a hair
He is.
over 6 foot, but
Right.
that's fine. That's fine.
So how would you right now? How would you grade the Redskins off season, including what the moves they made yesterday, including all the you
have to remind me.
the Fuller signing, the Sean Smith signing.
It's been very underwhelming.
Yeah,
I mean, how I would grade it, it's
C
incomplete right
minus,
now. Like
C
I saw
minus.
people on Twitter yesterday at Junks Radio, if you want to hit us up, basically tapping out on Ron Rivera, and I'm like, let the guy have a couple of seasons
let's
first.
pump the brakes on
but
that.
in terms of off-season moves, they whiffed on their big targets, whether it was Austin Hooper or Amari Cooper. They brought in lesser guys, and then I think if you just evaluated yesterday's moves, I don't think anybody was blown away. Like we said, they probably gave up too much for Kyle Allen and didn't get enough for Quentin Dunbar. So I'm going to give him a C minus.
I'll tell you what.
A C minus would be the best grade I could give him.
I'll give him a C minus now, but if they went out and has Logan Ryan signed with anybody, Cakes?
Not that I know
think
I
of.
don't
still
think so.
available.
If you can go out and get a Logan Ryan, and then your starting secondaries Ryan and Fuller and Sean Davis and Landon Collins.
Yeah.
All right, that's a legit unit right
they
there.
clearly have a screaming need in the secondary
Right,
for another top-flight corner, whether that's a guy that they draft like in the third round or if it's a free agent. They need another person there.
I'm just saying I would upgrade the offseason overall grade if they can go out and get Logan Ryan. Now I know I got a legit secondary. I've got a pretty damn good front four. Who knows about the linebackers, just yet. But I think that defense would look a lot better if they could go out and shore up. I'm sure they have a plan for it. Offensively, very dicey. Defensively, you add a Ryan, now you got a legit unit.
Yeah, they need help along the offensive line. They don't have any real threats other than McLaurin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm the only one in town, I think, that likes Logan Thomas. I think he might be able to do something. It's not like he's demonstrated it yet, but
I'm fine with Logan Thomas as a backup. I just don't want him as a starter.
And it looks like the Skins are still pretty good as far as salary cap space that they can spend. It looks like they have $33 million left that they can spend, so they're top 5 in that category. So they can still spend some money and bring in some other pieces.
Yeah, I think Ryan would be my number one target, too. I happen to agree with Jason. But, after that, I don't know. I think it's a fairly underwhelming crop in terms of how much wear and tear some of these guys have and, in terms of big names. I'm sure they can find value there. But I'll leave that up to Kyle Smith.
And then obviously in the draft at 2, you assume Chase Young goes, and then they got no second-round pick as of now. third round, maybe you can get one of those stud receivers. So you're not getting Judy or CeeDee Lamb, but maybe T. Higgins falls to the third round.
What?
So maybe you can get some help at wide receiver through the draft. But right now, Logan Ryan's not that old. I think he's 28, maybe 29.
Yeah.
So I would go after Logan Ryan.
Yeah, I like Logan Ryan. Honestly, if I was running the Redskins war room, I would do everything in my power to try to acquire more picks and move out of the Chase Young sweepstakes. I really would.
Really?
Oh yeah, I would be.
So you're done with Chase Young.
He's going to be a great player. We just have so many needs.
Wow. But you don't have elite guys. That's the thing. Is if you look at the Redskins roster and the NFL comes out with their top 100 players, the only guy who was top 100 was Trent Williams. You don't have elite players, and Chase Young, from all accounts, is going to be one of those guys.
I think he's going to be great, but we could maybe get 2 or 3 great ones.
Yeah, you can also roll the dice and move down to 4 or 5, depending on who wants to move up, and probably grab
the linebacker that everybody loves.
Get Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
Plug him in.
Get him. I mean, you could definitely get other great players. Then maybe you could also get a first-round receiver. Maybe you can get a guard or attack. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden now you filled 3 holes instead of 1.
Right.
Like Omar.
Right.
Yeah, that is the old Omar drop right there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I know a lot of Redskins fans probably agree with you on that.
I've really come around on it.
Shop that 2 and acquire 2 extra picks or 3 extra picks.
Well, I'm sure that they're going to listen to all the offers, and they're going to be active, I would think, in calling other teams like the Dolphins, like teams that want to move up, and hey, we're sitting here at number 2. What's the offer? What's the package you're willing to give us to come up to this valuable real estate? They should be, even if they're really not serious about moving up the pick.
So let's go on record that JP would take Chase Young. Down all the offers, you would take Chase Young.
Well, if there's an offer that's going to blow me away, I'm definitely going to listen to the offers, but I think the likelihood is...
How about 2 ones in a second?
2 ones in a second?
Yeah.
I would do that.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
But I just don't know that offer is going to come.
Yeah. Cakes, what
2
would you
ones
do?
in a second? I mean, what team is giving me the 2 ones in a second?
I take that deal in a heartbeat. From
Miami, I guess.
From the
one
Dolphins,
everybody's talking about.
If the Dolphins are desperate for Tua to get up to 2 to draft him, I'm going to take 2 of their picks, and I'm going to take a second, and I couldn't be happier about it.
Right. And then you're going to get 3 starters out of that deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which this roster needs.
Jason, what do you do?
So you're telling me Miami's going to give me their 5th and their number 18th, and then they're going to give me their 2nd?
Yep.
I mean, I would do it, but I don't think Miami would offer that. But yeah, I don't
think that's happening.
I would do that. Yeah.
I think all of us would do that
because
Isn't that essentially what they did for Robert?
Yeah, but that kind of blew up in their face, didn't it?
It did.
Right.
It did.
So I think other teams look at deals like that and go, "Oh, they gave up way too much."
Well, only because he didn't pan out. But if he had panned out and was a top 10 quarterback for 10 years, then it would have been worth it.
Right. You got to pan out, but you got to basically be a Hall of Famer.
Well, don't people think that Tua's special?
Some do. Let's find out.
I thought most people thought healthy Tua was special.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
But going back to Jason's question.
The Dolphins may think we can still get Tua at 5.
Yeah.